What up, YouTube? Dale number one here. About to go over my build this season, which is Caster Paladin using Holy Bolt, Fist of Heavens, Holy Nova. I had a lot of fun with this season. I was able to get to level 99. Really fun. I think it's the build is in a lot of better place this season. They made some buffs to it. So let's just get into it. First thing, we go into skills. You're gonna max out Holy Bolt, Holy Light, Fist of the Heavens, and Holy Nova. You can go put one into Joust if you want, if you don't have Enigma for just mobility sake. And then I went with dumping the rest into Sanctuary just for max damage. I've seen people put some into Conviction. I get this through my Scepter here, but so I didn't have to sink a point into that. I've also seen people kind of go Redemption, so they don't have to stack mana per kill and life per kill on their gear. Then I just put one into Prayer, one into Defiance, so I can get to Vigor. Skills are pretty straightforward. Like I said, there's a little bit of variance for what aura you choose depending on your scenario. I've seen people sink, points into resist lightning, cold, or resist fire just for uber bosses and that sort of thing. But I kind of went with the max damage, so I just went into Sanctuary. For the gear, I think dude, sorry guys, sorry YouTube. Sorry about that. For the weapon, I think Plague is probably going to be your best bet here. Hand of Blessed Light is also an option, a lower cost option, but you don't get any faster cast rate on that unless you slam it, and you might get a little more damage. But I think overall, with the Cleansing Aura in there, I think this is probably your best bet. I will say one... Dude, these weirdos, man. What are you doing, Thor? Sorry, guys. Okay, going back. Plague, yeah. One thing I will say about Plague, I think it's kind of ridiculous that it's still 1 to 2 skills. I rolled this 4 times, so sinking like if Chams are around 3 high runes, sinking 12 high runes into this one is kind of ridiculous. I think they should change the variable, the rolling variable from all skills. Just make it +2 all skills. Maybe make it like the variable faster cast rate. Because having just a +1 slam on this, it's not only is it just defeating, man, you just feel like crap. It's just like, it's not that good of a rune word, to be honest, for how expensive it is, especially early on. So I think they should change it from 1 to 2 skills to just 2 skills, and then change the rolling variable to something else. Armor, Enigma, pretty much your only option here. I think you can play it by jousting around while mapping, but it just feels kind of clunky and kind of awkward. Enigma definitely is, being able to teleport around is definitely the best option here. For the helmet, I'm just running this diadem here. Pretty nice one. Probably my best item this season. +1 slam on it. Tons of stats, strength and dexterity. Tons of resistances. Mana per kill, life per kill, magic find. So all useful stats on it. You can see the jewels that I put in here. They're pretty expensive. I'll have the armory in the description below. Amulet follows suit. You just want to get as many skills as you can. Faster cast rate, resistances, life per kill, mana per kill if you can. So this is the one I have. It's hard to find trades right now, so I haven't been able to upgrade this, but I'm looking to. So for the shield, Ephemeral. This is the new shield they dropped this season. Pretty cool for a caster paladin. I got this one. It's plus all skills. And then I hit the 2 open socket on the box with 2 runes in it just to kind of round out my resistances. Like I said, the resistances are kind of hard to find on this build, so that's why I did that. Boots here, again, just mana per kill boots. Rounding out my resistances, I need fire and poison, so I'm running these. Little FHR in there too. You got some options for boots here. You can go with like silk weaves if you need tons of mana per kill, but I think these are a pretty good compromise. I could definitely do better though. For rings, I have a FCR ring here with a ton of resistances and 8 mana per kill. Shout out Janman723, that's my boy. He gave me this for pretty cheap earlier in the season, so I've just been rocking with it. Haven't felt the need to replace it. FCR, Arachnid Mesh, just to hit your breakpoint, +1 skills, hard to beat. Stone of Jordan, life per kill. And then I got these crafted caster gauntlets here. These have 26 FCR, which puts me over my breakpoint. And then, mana per kill, mana, dex, half freeze duration. Pretty cool. And then for the inventory, I'm running a mixture of combat skillers with faster run walk and just magic large charms here. I don't know if there's an ideal ratio of combat skillers to magic large charms. If you know, let me know. I just kind of went with what works for me. I'd say 99% of your damage on this build is coming from your Holy Bolt damage from Fist of Heaven. So that's why you want to buff the magic skill instead of just the combat skill. So that's what I'm going with. Got a couple small charms to kind of round off my resistances. 2 skill Annie. And then, obviously a torch. So, for the Mercenary, running Skyfall. I'm running Act 3 Mercenary with Act 3 Light Mercenary. I think it's probably the most damage output that you can get. Act 4 Mercenary is good when you're starting, going through the base cave and starting to map, but the damage kind of falls off. So I think Act 3 Mercenary is definitely best case here. The weapon Skyfall, gives you everything you want. Lightning skills, FCR. I think the Thunderstorm, while equipped, is pretty cool. So I got that. 2 lightning facets in that. I got for the armor, I'm going Ormus's robes. Faster cat rate slam on that, so I can hit his breakpoint, which is 138 FCR. That's kind of the most important thing with him. He does a lot of damage, but hitting that breakpoint, just proccing the static field as much as possible, that's going to be your priority. Griffin's Eye, hard to beat, faster cast rate, tons of lightning damage, minus enemy lightning resistance too. I got 2 lightning facets in here. And then for the shield, I went with Exile. I just like this because the Defiance Aura just gives you a big boost to your defense, makes you really tanky. Kind of a nice deal. If you don't have if you can't get something this expensive, you can go with like a Lidless Wall or any other caster shield. Those are other options too. Marowaks for boots, cannot be frozen, max light res, strength, dex, all around solid boot for Merc. FCR slammed Arachnid Mesh, hit that breakpoint, and then Occultist here for his gloves. So that's the Mercenary. Let's get into a little map here. The damage on tier 1 maps is pretty solid. It's pretty quick. I think the damage does fall off quite a bit when you're going into tier 3 maps, which is something I think they could address by buffing the build a little bit. But I'll just show you a tier 1 map. Oh yeah, CTA obviously +1, Alma Negra here. So what I do is I buff, battle orders with the CTA, and then I switch back to my main hand because you get so many skills, or plus Holy Shield, you get 7 off this shield. So then you buff that, so you don't need a Holy Shield Scepter to roll your CTA in, which is kind of nice. So yeah, let's just get into it. So you can see I don't really just teleport and telestomp mobs. I'm kind of taking a couple steps, casting Fist of Heavens, taking a couple more steps, and then I'm using Holy Nova in conjunction with that. And then if I need to close space, I'll kind of teleport in there and then use Holy Nova. I think that's kind of probably the fastest way to map with this build. So that kind of gives you a little demo. Let's check this ring. Hopefully it's a Manal. Yes! Add that to the Manal collection, baby. Let's go. Alright. So some more recommendations for this build. The first one is I'd like to see a way to increase the damage other than just plus skills or the charms itself. I think magic damage in PD2 is kind of unique in the sense that there's not a lot of immune monsters to it. Versus like, fire, lightning, cold. There's tons of resistant monsters in this game. Magic damage is kind of different in that way. Instead, there's a lot of people who are saying that magic facets should be introduced. I'm not really a big fan of that because it would make magic damage feel kind of just the same as the other elements in this game. One thing to increase the damage of magic for this build, I think, would be in the form of crafting. So like on wands, you can get plus magic skill damage. Let's see if I can find one real quick. Like for necromancer, for teeth or whatever, you can get that kind of damage type on there. Where is one? So you can see it here, like plus 17 fire skill damage. I think for if you're crafting scepters, you should be able to have that on the craft itself. I think that would lend itself to be, where maybe have some more options with the weapon especially. So that might be an option. I think overall the build plays pretty well. The damage I think could, for Fist of Heavens, Holy Nova, and Holy Bolt, I think they could afford to buff it a little bit more at the higher levels, but not a whole lot, to be honest. I feel like it could be really overpowered if you buff it a whole lot. So I think a little bit of a buff could be warranted for sure. For the actual skills themselves, I think Holy Light's kind of a pointless skill, to be honest. It doesn't do as much single target damage as Holy Bolt, and it doesn't heal as much as something like Holy Nova. Holy Bolt actually heals a pretty good amount too, so it's kind of a pointless skill. I never use it, to be honest. Even in dungeons or tier 4 maps, I barely ever use this. So I think they could implement a good way. They could rework this skill to make it useful somehow. Not the best at identifying solutions for this, just pointing out the problem. Holy Nova, I feel like the cooldown is a little bit too long. Maybe make it the cooldown shorter, and then to balance it out, you could decrease the radius of the Nova itself because it's pretty massive, as you can see. It takes up like the whole screen. So maybe by decreasing the radius of the Nova, and then maybe like the healing amount to it, you could decrease that as well. I don't know. That's just an option, or just an idea of mine. Fist of Heavens actually feels pretty solid, to be honest. I like the fact that they made the Holy Bolts travel a little bit faster the further they get away from the impact. So you can see here, that was one of the buffs they made. You can see how the Holy Bolts will kind of speed up the further they get away. I think that could be something that they implement with Holy Bolt itself, because they move really, really slowly. So they could either just, I think buffing the speed of Holy Bolts would be helpful. And then that's kind of it. I mean, the build plays really well. I haven't seen a lot of people playing it this season. So then the last thing for Sanctuary, I think they could buff the radius this a little bit. You're mainly using this for the debuff, minus magic resistance. You're not really using it for the magic damage to your attack or the magic damage procs. So I think buffing the radius of this, or maybe make it like a synergy or something, to Holy Light. I don't know, something like that possibly, to make it a little bit better. So yeah, that's the build. Like I said, I had a lot of fun playing it this season. If you have any questions or anything, or recommendations, just let me know in the comments below. I did want to give a shout out to my very sexy friend Noob Tactics. Love you, bro. And yeah, that's that. Peace.